Hey everybody, what's happening? Son of a Silver Stacker here. In today's numismatic news and information for the 17th day of June 2022, I'd like to welcome you over to APMEX so we can check out those spot prices. Looks like gold is down 70 cents to 1858.10, silver down a penny to 20 new 19 or cent if you like. Platinum down 770 to 967.40, and palladium down $2.50 to 1917 even. Steven, why is that always a zero? And jam bullion, it was never a zero. I don't understand that. Either way, numismatic news, our next stop today. There's an article by Patrick A. Heller 14 hours ago. It says here, promote numismatics with American women quarters. And there they are. Those are the 5 honorees for 2022. We got Maya Angelou, Dr. Sally Ride, Wilma Mankiller, Nina Otero Warren, and Anna Mae Wong. Those are the honorees for 2022. And now it says here, whenever there is a major change in a nation's coins or currency, there is an invariably surge in numismatic collector interest. When the U.S. Statehood Quarter Series debuted in 1999, the U.S. Mint reported a couple years later there were about 100 million people collecting these coins. And isn't that interesting how they're able to glean or discern that information and those facts? There are multiple new coin issues this decade, with the first being the 2021 dated Morgan and Peace silver dollars, and those were fantastic. And David J. Ryder lost his job over that, didn't he? Now, at the beginning of 2022, the 4-year series honoring the total of 20 American women on circulating quarters began. And you know how hot that has become, right? The concept for the American Women Quarter Series was loaded with prospects for sparking greater numismatic interest. Regrettably, I like saying regrettably because unfortunately means you're just unlucky. Between the U.S. Mint and Federal Reserve Bank, the implementation and then circulation of these coins has thus far mostly failed to prompt public interest in these issues. Can you believe it? Wait, what? Wow. I don't think so. But then again, let's find out. When the statehood quarters were created and issued, it was possible in most states for the public to submit design ideas. In Michigan, for example, 4,000 suggestions were received, of which more than 20% came from students. Then, when a new issue came out, banks and credit unions could request receipt of specific issue from the Federal Reserve Bank. What they're saying is you could, like if you were in Michigan, you could get that Michigan quarter. Now, it says here, both of these factors were critical in boosting public interest in the coins. That's exactly right. So you have an input and you could specially order them. Now, the higher public interest resulted in higher mintages than otherwise would have occurred, which had the effect of increasing U.S. Mint's profits that were turned over to the U.S. Treasury. And I think this is Patrick Heller saying, look, you can make a whole lot more money and generate a lot more interest if you did this. Now, it says here, unfortunately, again, wow, did I already read that? I think I already read that. Eventually, there was a convoluted process which established where the public could submit suggestions on which women deserved to be on the quarter, but the process was so cumbersome even if one was able to find the online link to do so. Now, I remember a bunch of us were able to actually submit ideas for these quarters. And I know my suggestion, which is the lady who flew across the world, at least tried to fly across the world. It is Amelia Earhart. I would like her to see, to be on a quarter. That would be amazing. Then, as I have previously lamented, banks and credit unions were not allowed to request the specific issues from the Federal Reserve Bank, and as a consequence, the U.S. Mint reported that only 480 million of the Maya Angelou quarters, the first coin in the series, were struck for circulation. This mintage is 38% lower than the first stated quarter in 1990. That's Delaware, with about, well, 3/4 of a trillion, no, a billion coins struck for circulation. Trillion, where'd I get that number from? Every single statehood quarter. Now, okay, look, that isn't such a bad thing, is it? If the Maya Angelous are 38% lower than the Delaware quarter, maybe it's going to be worth more than the Delaware quarter in the long run because of that lower mintage. Every single statehood quarter for the 50 state had mintages for circulation of more than 400 million, peaking at 1.5 billion for Virginia in 2000. I'm concerned that the difficulty of obtaining this year's quarters from banks or credit unions will lead to an even lower mintages as the series continues. And I'm not sure that that's actually going to be the case. But if it does, that will be remarkable. As each of the new issues for statehood quarters and the American Beautiful quarters debuted, the coin store where I work received a deluge of calls from the public wanting to know if the new coins were available. Sadly, there has not been any particular public interest leading to people to contact our store for this year's quarters. Now, I imagine you're probably going to, the reason why is, I mean, let's face it, people go to local coin shops, there's no doubt about it, but they also buy on eBay and trade on Facebook and trade on YouTube. So yeah, maybe not. That's to be determined. Despite the obstacles of lack of public participation in selecting which women to honor and of being able to obtain these coins from local banks and credit unions at face value, people can order rolls and bags of these coins from the U.S. Mint at prices from 40 to 45 cents per coin. There are still opportunities to promote interest in numismatics using the American Women Quarter issues. Remember, if people cannot find them in their change, they just might become interested if they consider these coins to be rare. Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Here are a few ideas on what collectors, coin clubs, and dealers can do. There's 5, 6, 7, 8 bullet points that we're going to read here real quick. Now, here are a few ideas. Number one, obtain some of the newest issues at face value from the local bank or credit union. If you cannot, consider paying the Mint's higher price to obtain a quantity of these coins, then simply go out and spend them. We talked about Silver Wolverine doing that with those S quarters, one at a time, drawing the attention of the person receiving to this coin. Ah, interesting. One at a time. So as you spend it, you're like, hey, look at this. That's my Angelou. Now, that would be cool. This could spark some interesting conversations. Number two, coin dealers could obtain quantities of these coins, then trying to get free advertising by offering to give away free or charge face value for one of these coins. Since there has been a relatively lack of publicity about this coin series, your prospects of getting publicity through the news coverage on these coins are pretty good. See, I beg to differ. He's not talking about Instagram. He's not talking about the morning talk shows. He's not talking about Twitter, because let's face it, on social media, they hit the American Women Quarters pretty big. Now, number three, coin clubs or coin dealers could run contests asking for student submissions on the subject of the latest women honored on the quarter. And even teachers could do that as well, I would imagine, and award a single quarter or a PDS set of the three to every student who turns in an entry. Great idea if you're listening out there, and you're a teacher or a coin club or a dealer. That is cool. Conduct a treasure hunt where a coin club or coin dealer might offer a reward for the first person locally who finds and presents the newest quarter in circulation. That is amazing. So if you're a coin shop, you could say, hey, there's an award of a silver dime or silver quarter to whoever brings in each of the women quarters. My Angelou, Dr. Sally Ride, Wilma Mankiller, Nino Tara Warren, and Anna Mae Wong. I mean, that's 5 opportunities through the year to drum up business for yourself and drum up interest into these quarters. Now, number 5, take a survey for suggestions on which women might deserve to be honored on the 2024 and 2025 dated quarters. Now, if you keep track of when you received each survey, you might offer a prize to whomever turned in the first entry, naming a woman who is actually later honored on that quarter. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like who do you think is going to be on it? Hey, you picked it right. Good job. Here's your reward. Consider dedicating or naming coin shows, coin club meetings, and the like in honor of the latest woman to appear on the quarter. That's absolutely genius. Patrick Heller for the win today. Collectors could acquire a few rolls and bags of these quarters, then see if any schools would be interested in you speaking to the students about the women who are honored on the quarters. Oh my gosh, that's huge. Wow, where you give each student their own quarter to keep. I just got the chicken skin. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, look at it. Well, you can't look at it, but there it is. Dealers could consider offering a discount on numismatic coins dated in the year of birth or death of the women honored on quarters. I'm telling you, this guy, Patrick Heller, is money. Gosh, I'd like to high five this guy right about now. If you use your imagination, you can certainly come up with other low or no cost ideas on how to use the American Women Quarters to spark interest in numismatics. Have fun doing so. Actually, this was one of the best articles I think he's ever written, or at least that I've read by him. Now, we're about 8.5 minutes in, and I wanted to take you to something I mentioned yesterday on the early morning show, and that is over here, the United States Mint, and we're going to look at the product schedule. Now, the uncirculated gold coin came out yesterday, and there's about 2,500 of these bad boys left out of 9,000 available. Now, a week from yesterday, bam, this comes out, and then the 28th, which is the last drop of June, we have the Kentucky Bluegrass coin. Now, we have the uncirculated set July 12th, and then here we go, July 15th is the United States Marine Corps 2.5 ounce silver medal, and I believe Silver Wolverine did a video about this. Kudos to you, sir. I pointed this out in yesterday morning's video that there is no mintage limit, no product limit for this particular item, and the household order limit is 1. And it was on the live stream, the 1 hour show, not the 8-minute, 10-minute video that I do in the morning for the numismatic news. Now, here's something I'm going to ponder to you, and Silver Wolverine also pondered it to you. So there's no mintage limit here and there. And if we go back to the Air Force 2.5 ounce silver medal, and that was dropped just last year, even though it is product S20MA. There was a mintage limit of 10,000, a product limit of 10,000, and that was in a year where the mint was struggling, and it was $160 when you picked it up. And there may be actually some of these come available, and if they do, I would suggest, well, in my opinion, if I had the wherewithal, I'd be picking these up as many as I could, and I'll tell you why. So that's the Air Force medal, 10,000. We have the U.S. Navy medal, that's also 10,000, and that was supposed to come out in 2020, but because of the pandemic year, they had to switch it back to 2021. And we all know that 2021 was a fantastic year at the United States Mint. And I even think that Silver Wolverine did a video about 2021 products being fantastical. Now, this one, mintage limit 10,000, product limit 10,000. And look at this, U.S. Coast Guard 2.5 ounce silver medal also at 10,000. Okay. So what does that say? So the first three issuances of the silver 2.5 ounce Armed Forces medals will all have a mintage less than 10,000. Now, we know that the one coming out here for the United States Marine Corps is going to have no mintage limit, no product limit. So what is that going to mean for the issuances, the first three, not the last three, because we can easily see the United States Mint producing no mintage limit, no product limit for the Army or the Space Force. Now, if that's the case, I imagine they may be able to produce those because they don't have a date on them going forward indefinitely. Now, since the United States Mint has a they could actually go back. See, it says mintage limit, product limit. Could they actually go back and make more of these? I don't think so. But with the with this one, the U.S. Marine Corps one, they could absolutely go back and make more anytime they want, I would imagine. And what does that do for the prices of the first three that have been issued? Well, I'll tell you what, they were $160. This one's got 29 bids, $530 shipping, $182. Not graded. $319, that's definitely right there. It doubled. $160, $160, $320, $349. Look at this. It is MS-70 metal, $872 was $1,200. Come on. For $160 metal, I think that's, you know what? That's probably where these are going to be going once all of the issues have been sent out by the Mint. I think when all six are finally said and done and everybody has complete collections, I think this is going to be one of the most important sets ever, at least medals offered by the Mint. It's just incredible. This was $160. Look at this, $250. Buy now, $375, $349. These are definitely special. Definitely, that's the Coast Guard, that's the Navy, that's the Air Force, and clearly they are selling for more than double. And it usually isn't, when mint products drop, like say the American Silver Eagles, $73, it doesn't automatically go to $150. It can be sold for $100, $110, $115, and then that's that. So it's pretty, and really it was only, I think, the 2020 year that mint products, especially the silver products, doubled automatically. The reverse proof 2-coin American Silver Eagles, the Morgan dollars. I mean, it's all there. In fact, I think Silver Wolverine's video should give us all a heads up and a focus as to what is going on. Because look, there's an article out by Paul Gilks over at CoinNews.net about the sales for 2022. All right, and 60% of them are from 2021. What does that tell you, folks? That should give us a big heads up red flag, as that's where our attention should be right now. Yeah, that's pretty wild, isn't it? It's 2022, but we have to look back at 2020 and 2021. Now, off to the plus ones today. The first one here is Creedence Clearwater Revival. Do you guys know where this band's from? Take a guess. Take a guess. Leave it in the comments below. And who knows? Maybe you'll be right, maybe you're wrong. But don't look at the Google machine. Just wing it. Now, that's Who'll Stop the Rain? Who'll stop the rain? Oh, that's interesting. What a great question. And now there's hey, look at this. The best thing one can do when it's raining is to let it rain. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow said that. That's interesting. I bet that means something to everybody. It means something different to everybody. Who knew? Listen, folks, I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you're hearing, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. Son of a silver stacker.